Emma had always trusted her sister, Lily. They had grown up together, shared secrets, clothes, dreams, and even heartbreaks. Emma believed there was nothing in the world that could ever come between them. She was wrong. Emma had been married to Daniel for 3 years. He was kind, hardworking, and deeply loving. Their marriage wasn't perfect, but it was strong. They laughed together, planned their future together, and supported each other through difficult times. Lily, Emma's younger sister, had recently moved to the city after ending a long-term relationship. She was lonely and needed a fresh start. "Stay with us for a while," Emma had offered. At first, everything seemed wonderful. Lily was charming and funny. Daniel welcomed her warmly, treating her like family. They all had dinner together, watched movies, and enjoyed each other's company. But slowly, Emma began noticing strange things. Lily laughed a little too hard at Daniel's jokes. She touched his arm whenever she spoke to him. She dressed differently whenever he was around. At first, Emma told herself she was imagining things. "Don't be ridiculous," she whispered to herself. After all, Lily was her sister. But then came the first real warning. One evening, Emma walked into the kitchen and found Lily and Daniel talking quietly. When Emma entered, Lily immediately stepped back. "What were you two discussing?" Emma asked lightly. "Nothing important," Lily said with a bright smile. Daniel looked uncomfortable. Emma's heart sank. A few days later, Emma noticed Lily wearing Daniel's favorite cologne. "Why do you smell like him?" Emma asked jokingly. Lily simply laughed. "Maybe your husband has great taste." Emma forced a smile, but inside, a storm was growing. One Saturday, Emma had to work late. When she returned home earlier than expected, she heard laughter coming from the living room. She opened the door quietly. Lily was sitting very close to Daniel on the couch. Too close. Their knees were touching. Lily quickly moved away. Daniel stood up immediately. "Emma, you're home early." Emma looked from one to the other. An icy feeling spread through her chest. That night, she confronted Daniel. "Is something going on between you and Lily?" Daniel looked shocked.
No, absolutely not.
"Then why does she act that way around you?" He sighed. "I've noticed it too. I've tried to ignore it because she's your sister." Emma felt both relief and dread. At least she wasn't imagining it. The next morning, Emma decided to speak to Lily. "Lily, I need to ask you something." Lily sipped her coffee casually.
The coffee shop was quiet that afternoon. Rain tapped softly against the windows, and the rich smell of fresh coffee filled the air. Emma sat at a corner table, twisting her wedding ring nervously. Then Lily walked in. For a moment, neither of them moved. Lily looked different, older, wiser. The confidence she once wore like armor had been replaced by something softer, humility. She approached slowly. "Hi, Emma." Emma forced a small smile. "Hi." Lily sat down across from her, clutching her cup tightly. For several seconds, the only sound between them was the rain. Finally, Lily spoke. "I almost didn't come." Emma gave a tiny laugh. "I almost didn't either." That broke some of the tension. Lily looked down at her hands. "I've replayed that night 1,000 times." Emma remained silent. "I hated myself afterward," Lily continued. "But hating myself didn't fix anything." Emma studied her sister carefully. For the first time, she saw genuine regret. Not excuses, not manipulation. Just pain. "Why?" Emma finally asked. Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Because I was jealous." Emma blinked. "Jealous?" Lily nodded. "You had everything I thought I'd never have. A loving husband, stable life, someone who truly cared about you." She swallowed hard. "When my relationship ended, I felt broken. Watching you and Daniel together, It reminded me of everything I'd lost. Emma listened quietly. Ideal, Lily admitted. I wanted what he represented. Security, love, happiness. Emma leaned back, absorbing every word. It was selfish, Lily said. Cruel and unforgivable. Emma looked out the window. You nearly destroyed my marriage. No. You destroyed my trust. Lily wiped away a tear. I know that too. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Emma said softly, Daniel never gave you any reason to think he was interested. Lily shook her head immediately. Never. He always kept his distance. He always chose you. Emma felt a wave of relief, even though she had already known it. Hearing it from Lily mattered. He loves you, Lily said. I saw that clearly. I was just too selfish to care. Emma's own eyes began to water. I missed you. Lily's face crumpled. I missed you every single day. The two sisters sat in silence. Years of love and months of pain hanging between them. Then Emma reached across the table. Lily grabbed her hand instantly. Both of them started crying. Not graceful tears. Not movie tears. Real tears. The kind that come from deep wounds finally beginning to heal. I can't promise things will go back to the way they were, Emma said. I don't expect that. But I want to try. Lily nodded, unable to speak. That day was the first step. Not the finish line. Healing rarely is. Over the next several months, they slowly rebuilt their relationship. Phone calls became regular. Lunches became routine. Trust returned, one small moment at a time. Daniel supported Emma completely. He welcomed Lily back cautiously, but kindly. Lily respected boundaries. She never crossed them again. One Sunday, the whole family gathered for their mother's birthday. Laughter filled the house. At one point, Emma caught Lily helping Daniel carry dishes into the kitchen. For a brief second, old fears flickered. Then Lily smiled warmly and stepped aside. Your wife runs this place like a general, she joked. Daniel laughed. That's why I survive. Emma smiled. The fear disappeared. Because trust, once rebuilt, can become even stronger. Later that evening, Lily pulled Emma aside. Thank you. Emma raised an eyebrow. For what? For giving me another chance. Emma squeezed her hand. Don't waste it. I won't. And she didn't. 2 years later, Lily met someone. His name was Michael. He was patient, funny, and completely devoted to her. When Lily introduced him to Emma and Daniel, Emma immediately noticed something different. Lily no longer looked at someone else's happiness with envy. She had found her own. At Lily's wedding, Emma stood beside her as maid of honor. As Lily adjusted her veil, she looked at Emma with tears in her eyes. I never thought we'd get here. Emma smiled. Neither did I. Lily laughed softly. I almost ruined everything. But you didn't. I came close. Emma nodded. Yes, you did. They both laughed. Then Emma hugged her tightly. As Lily walked down the aisle, Emma glanced at Daniel. He squeezed her hand. What are you thinking? He whispered. Emma smiled. That love can survive almost anything. Daniel kissed her forehead. Especially ours. And in that moment, Emma knew something important. Family can break your heart. Love can be tested. Trust can be shattered. But with honesty, boundaries, and forgiveness, even the deepest wounds can heal. Not perfectly, but beautifully.